Now our next chapter is bills of exchange. Bills of exchange comes under the Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. This is the oldest act in India. Earlier, the bills of exchange named hundies. Now it is named as bills of exchange or promissory notes. It is used, bills of exchange is used at the time of credit sale. When we sell the goods on credit, then on that time bills of exchange may be used by us if we have a doubt regarding the collection of amount which is sold on credit. So the seller draws a bill in a stamp paper or in a plain paper and affix the revenue stamp, and all the terms and conditions regarding the credit sale is mentioned to that paper, that the purchaser will pay this amount after certain periods, a definite period, and on that bill there must be the signature of the seller, drawer, and the signature of the acceptor, the purchaser, means customers. When both the parties sign on it, then this becomes the bills of exchange. So this is used, bills of exchange is used at the time of credit sale. Okay, so bills of exchange, if you see the definition of bills of exchange as per Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, so bills of exchange is an instrument in writing. You see over here, bills of exchange is an instrument in writing. Okay, this must be in written form. An unconditional order. Unconditional order means whatever the terms and conditions given in the bills of exchange, that must be very clear. 3 months after date, 2 months after date, pay to me or my order, like this. This must be unconditional. Signed by the maker, means drawer, whosoever draw the bill. Normally it is drawn by creditor. Bills of exchange is drawn by creditor, and it is drawn over the debtors, means customer. So signed by the maker means drawer. Directing, it's an order, not a request. Bills of exchange, the statement what we write, it's an orderly statement. We have to give the order directing to pay a certain sum of money only to me, only to, or to the order of certain person, or to the bearer of the instrument, or to the bearer of the instrument. So bills of exchange is an instrument in writing, an unconditional order signed by the maker directing to pay a certain sum of money, to whom money only to means only to me, means only to the drawer, means creditor, or to the order of certain person, or to the bearer of the instrument. So this is the definition of bills of exchange. So under this definition, if you see, bills of exchange is an instrument. It's an instrument because it comes under the Negotiable Instrument Act. This must be in writing, is another important thing. Unconditional order. Unconditional order signed by the maker. Maker means drawer. Who is the drawer? Creditor is the drawer. Directing to pay a certain sum of money. Money also must be definite. Money must be also fixed amount. that 4,000, 6,000, 6,500, 10,000, that money must be a definite money. Only to or to the order of certain person or to the bearer of the instrument, or to the bearer of the instrument, and this instrument must be accepted by the person to whom the bill is drawn. This bills of exchange is drawn by the creditor over the debtor. So debtor must sign on bill and have to write accepted, thereafter they must signed. So acceptance is required, otherwise this is simply a draft, After acceptance, this become the bills of exchange. So there are certain features or characteristics of bills of exchange on the basis of these definitions. So number one is bills of exchange must be in writing, It's never be a oral, it must be a writing. The features number one, bills of exchange must be in writing. Number two, an order to make payment. Bills of exchange is an order, it's not a request. It's an order to make payment of the bill by the acceptor to the drawer, means by the debtors to the creditor. It's an order. Here also we have written that directing to pay means order to pay. Next is order must be unconditional. We have written over here unconditional. The order must be unconditional. Okay. Next is amount of the bill must be definite, that it is 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, whatever the amount, that amount must be clearly mentioned in the bill. Next is date of payment must be fixed, that after 10 days, after 15 days, after 1 month, after 3 months. So date of payment must be fixed. Signed by the maker means signed by the drawer. Signed and accepted by the drawee. Signed and accepted by the drawee means who is the drawee? Drawee is the debtors. Payable either on demand, here payable either on demand or expiry of a fixed period. After fixed period, after 3 months or after 5 months, whatever the condition or term mentioned in the bills of exchange, after expiry of that period. Suppose in the bills of exchange it is mentioned that the amount have to pay after 90 days, it's a 90 days bill. So after 90 days they have to, customer means debtor has to pay that amount to the creditors. So after expiry of the period, okay, either on demand, when the, if it is a demand bill, so either on the demand or expiry of a period. Payable either to the bearer of the instrument or his order. Payable either to the bearer of the bill, who is the bearer, or to the creditor, or to the specified person to whom the drawer has given the bill, to whom the drawee will pay the amount. So to the specified person or to his order. Bill must be stamp, revenue stamp must be fixed on the bill, that depend upon the revenue stamp, amount of the revenue stamp depend upon the value of the bill. So on the bill, revenue stamp must be fixed, and that revenue stamp, amount of the revenue stamp depend upon what? It depend upon the value of the bill, amount of the bill, or it may be drawn in a stamp paper. It may be drawn on the plain paper, then revenue stamp must be affixed as per the value, or it may be drawn on a stamp paper. So these are the characteristics, or you can say features of bills of exchange. So it must be writing an order to make payment, amount of the bill must be definite, date of payment must be definite, signed by the drawer maker, accepted by the drawee, payable either on demand or expiry of a period, payable either to the bearer of the bill or to a specified person or to his order, as per his order. And next and last is stamps according to the value of the bill, or this may be drawn on a stamp paper. So is it clear? These all points are clear. So bills of exchange comes under the Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. This is the oldest act in India. Now coming to the next subtopic of the bills of exchange, parties involved in the bills of exchange. Parties involved in the bills of exchange. So parties to the bills of exchange, there are the three parties in the bills of exchange. One is the drawer, second is the drawee, third is the payee of the bill. Payee. Now come number one, drawer. Drawer is the person who draws the bill. Drawer is the person who draws the bill. So who will be the drawer? Drawer will be the creditors. Drawer will be the creditors. For instance, A sold goods, A sold goods to B on credit. A sold goods to B on credit for rupees 25,000. Sold goods to B on credit for rupees 25,000. So here A is what and B? A is the seller and B is the purchaser. B is the purchaser. Seller means he is the creditors. Creditors for whom? Creditors for B. And B is the debtors. From whose point of view? From seller point of view, purchaser is the debtors. And from the purchaser point of view, A is the creditors. So when the goods are sold on credit, A draws a bill on B. A draws a bill on B. Who draw the bill? A draws a bill on B. Suppose the B agree to pay the amount of this amount after 2 months. B agree to pay the amount to A, rupees 25,000 after 2 months. So A draws a bill, draw the bill over B. So A is the drawer. Who is the drawer? A is the drawer. Drawer is seller. You may say drawer is the creditor. Over the B, which is accepted by B. That bill must be accepted by the purchaser. B is who? B is the purchaser, or you can say B is the debtors. So the person who draws the bill is drawer. So bill is drawn by seller, or you can say bill is drawn by creditor over the debtors. Bill is drawn by the creditors on debtors. So here A is the drawer of the bill. Who is the drawee? The person who accepts the bill is called drawee. Person who accepts the bill. Here A is draw the bill over B and B has accepted it. When the B accept that bill, then B is the drawee. B is the drawee. So here A A is drawer and B is what? B is drawee, because B accept the bill which is written on the bill that pay to me or my order a sum of rupees this after 2 months or 3 months. When the B accept it, which is drawn by A, then B is the drawee. So drawee is the person who accept the bill, and payee is the person who receive the amount of the bill. So drawer may be the payee of the bill, or if the bill is discounted with the bank, then the bank will be the payee of the bill. If the bill is endorsed, transferred to the third party, then third party may be the payee of the bill. So whoso may ever receive the amount of the bill will be the payee of the bill. So here drawer is the person who draws the bill, the person who draw the bill, person who draws the bill. So who draws the bill? Seller or creditors draw the bill. The person who accept the bill, the person who accept the bill, bill is drawn by A over B and B accept it. So B become the drawee, the person who accept the bill. So who is B? B is the purchaser or B is the debtor. From the A point of view, B is the debtor. From B point of view, A is the creditor. Okay? A is the creditor. From A point of view, B is the purchaser. From B point of view, he is the seller. From A point of view, he is the debtor. From the B point of view, he is the creditor. Okay? There is the relation. So person who draws the bill is called drawer, person who accepts the bill is called drawee, and the person who receive the amount of the bill, the person or party who receive the amount of the bill, who receive the amount of the bill, on maturity, the person who receive the amount of the bill on maturity. If the bill is retained by the drawer till the date of maturity, then the drawer will be the payee of the bill. If bill is discounted by the drawer before the maturity from the bank, then on the due date bank will get the amount, then the bank will be the payee of the bill. Okay? If the bill is endorsed to the third party, to the creditors, if the bill is endorsed to the third party, to our creditors, then the endorsee or the creditor will be the payee of the bill. So who will be the payee of the bill? That depend upon on the date of maturity, the bill is in which hand. If the bill is in the hand of or in the possession of the drawer, then drawer will get the amount. If the bill is discounted, then the bank have the bill, then bank will take the money from the drawee. So bank will be the payee of the bill, and if the bill is endorsed to the creditor, then endorsee or the creditor will be the payee of the bill. So in bills of exchange there are the three party: drawer, drawee and payee. Drawer, drawee and payee. Payee is whom? Payee is the person who receive the amount of the bill. The bill, if it is in the hand of the drawer, then drawer will be the payee of the bill. Drawer will be the payee of the bill. If the bill is discounted, then the bank will be the payee of the bill. If the bill is endorsed, then endorsee or you can say the creditors will be the payee of the bill, or creditors will be the payee of the bill. So it depend upon in whose hand the bill is on the due date. Is it clear? Now see the format of a bills of exchange, specimen format of bills of exchange. Okay, This is the format of a bills of exchange I have drawn over here. Before understanding this format, I assume that the seller is Vidyasagar is the seller. Vidyasagar sold goods on credit to Rajkumar. Vidyasagar sold goods on credit to Rajkumar worth rupees 1 lakh. Is it clear? So who is the seller? Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar is the seller. So seller is Vidyasagar. So Vidyasagar is the seller and the purchaser is Rajkumar is the purchaser. So Vidyasagar sold goods to Rajkumar worth rupees 1 lakh on credit. So Vidyasagar draw a bill on Rajkumar. Vidyasagar is the drawer. He is the seller. He is the creditor. You can say he is the seller, he is the drawer, he is the creditor. Draws a bill on Rajkumar. Who is the Rajkumar? Rajkumar is the purchaser of the goods. He will be the drawee. When he accept the bills, then he become the drawee, and he is the creditors. He is the debtors. So Vidyasagar, when draw the bill over Rajkumar, so he will write the amount in numeric figure first, rupees 1 lakh, and the statement on this bill will be, suppose both the party agree, the purchaser is agreed to pay the amount of the bill after 3 months and the seller is ready, accepted this, then the seller write this information in the bills of exchange in writing. So he has written 3 months after date, pay to me or my order a sum of rupees 1 lakh only for value received. The value of the bill is already given by the seller to the purchaser. So the seller will write, drawer will write all terms and conditions related to that bill, that 3 months after date, pay to me or my order a sum of rupees 1 lakh for value received. This 1 lakh he has written over here in word, and here it is in numeric figure. The date, the New Delhi, seller is from the New Delhi, so he will write the place and date of drawing bill and signed by the seller. Drawer will sign it. Drawer write their name, their address completely with their mobile number and email ID, and here the acceptor, the person who accept the bill. So person who accept the bill is Rajkumar. He will write this word accepted first, and then he has to sign it. Then Rajkumar has to sign it. And when the drawer draw the bill, the drawer has to sign over here. Vidyasagar has to sign. Okay, so drawer has signed it. Thereafter, after reading the information given in this bill, the drawee Rajkumar see this terms and condition and it is matched with their word, then he will write accepted and sign it. So this is the bills of exchange. After signing this one by the drawee, this become the bills of exchange. And revenue stamp, appropriate revenue stamp that depend upon the value of the bill, that is 1 lakh. Accordingly, revenue stamp must be affixed. The drawer is from New Delhi and drawee is from Varanasi, Lanka. Okay, so drawee also write the name and address and email ID and mobile number and PIN code of their address, complete address with the PIN code, mobile number and email ID. And if it is a registered shop, then write the registration number. Okay, then write the registration number. This is bills of exchange, specimen copy of bills of exchange. So who is the drawer? Vidyasagar is the drawer, he is the sailor, okay, and the drawee is Rajkumar, who has accepted the bill. Who is the drawee? Drawee is the purchaser and drawer is the sailor. Okay, so this is the specimen of bills of exchange. Now coming to the next, advantage or the benefits of bills of exchange. What are the benefits when we are using bills of exchange? Number one benefit is you see the helpful in credit purchase and sale of goods. Business turnover or business growth depend upon the sales, and we know that in today's market, cash sales is 10 to 20%, rest are the credit sale. We sell the goods on credit. So this bills of exchange facilitate or encourage the seller to sell the goods on credit, and it also encourages the purchaser to buy the goods on credit. So number one advantage is help in credit purchase and credit sale, means help both the seller and the purchaser. Seller sold the goods on credit. By this way they increase their turnover, and when the turnover will increase, definitely the profit will increase. And there is a security of money as well in the bills of exchange, because it is written on a stamp paper which is signed by the acceptor. So it's a legal document. So this encourages the credit sale and credit purchase of goods, and by this way the rotation of goods will be faster. Turnover of the goods will be faster, and when the turnover of the goods will be faster, the profit will increase. Profit totally depend upon our volume of sales, and volume of sales depend upon our credit facilities. So bills of exchange give a benefits to both the seller and the purchaser. So helpful in credit purchase and sale. Legal document is another benefits. Bills of exchange is a legal document. Okay, this document you can present in the court, and you can realize the amount. If the drawee failed to pay the amount or refused to pay the amount, you can realize this amount from the court. It's a legal document. So this is another benefit. This is a legal document because it's drawn on a paper, stamp paper, or proper revenue stamp is affixed, signed by the drawer, signed by the drawee. So this can be produced as a legal evidence if there will be any problem in the collection of the amount of credit sales. Next is discounting facilities. The amount of the bill can be discounted by the drawer before the maturity of the bill from their bank, from the bankers. If the drawer is in need of money, before the date of maturity, drawer is in need of money, seller is in need of money, then the seller have an option. Seller may discount this bill from his banker and get the amount. So discounting facility is also there in the bills of exchange. So discounting facility. Similarly, endorsement facility. You may endorse or transfer the bill to your creditors. If you don't have the money to pay the amount to your creditor, then you may transfer this bill which is received from your creditors, from your debtors. Whatever the bill you have received from your debtor, that bill may be transferred to your creditors. So there is an endorsement facility. You can endorse this bill, transfer this bill to your creditors to pay the amount if the creditors is ready to take the bill. Okay. Next is relief from sending reminder. No need to send reminder and again by the seller to the purchaser that you pay the amount, the due date has come, you pay the amount. No need to send the reminders, because already all terms and conditions is given on that bill on which date the amount will be paid by the purchaser. Amount and date of payment is fixed, so no reminder is required. You may send a soft reminder before the date of maturity, but it is not necessary to sending reminder. So relief from sending reminder, helpful in planning of cash operation. Cash operation, this will helpful in planning of cash operation. We know that on which date we will get the money from the purchaser, from our customer. We know it, that on this date we will get this much money from our purchaser, from our customers, from the purchaser or from the customers. Accordingly, the daters, the purchaser also do the plan that on that day I have to pay this amount to the seller, so they can do the proper cash management. Cash operation can be managed successfully because they know the date on which date we have to pay, they know on which date we will receive this amount. So helpful in cash operation of the business. Convenient means of making foreign trade. It's a very convenient means of making foreign trade. Okay, when we are talking about the foreign trade, convenience means of making foreign trade. So what it is? Convenience means of making foreign trade. It avoids and trouble the risk of risk and transmitting the currency from one country to another country. So it avoids the trouble and risk of transmitting the foreign currency from one place to another place. So convenient means of making foreign payments. Next is saving of money in circulation. Saving of money in circulation. Instead of currency, the bills of exchange is in circulation in the market. If the bills of exchange is more in circulation in market, so this save the currency. And when the currency is not circulating in the market, it means the wear and tear is less of the currency. So this helps or saving the money in circulations, because more or less the bills of exchange is in circulation in place of the currency, government currency. Okay, bills of exchange is in circulations. Convenience for the purchaser to purchase the goods on credit and making payment on time. Okay, so from purchaser point of view, it is very convenient. They can purchase the goods on credit and do the payment to the seller on time. So these are the advantages or benefits. Helpful in credit purchase and sale, legal document, discounting facilities, endorsement possible, relief from sending reminders again and again, no need, helpful in cash operation of the business, convenient means of making foreign payments, saving of money in circulation, reduce the wear and tear of money, and convenience for the purchaser to purchase more quantity and payment in the later period. They get the credit period 2 months, 3 months, so accordingly their business will grow. If we'll get the amount on credit for 2 months or 3 months, then with the less amount of capital we can do the big volume of business. Big business can be operated by us with the less amount of capital if the credit facilities are there in the market. Next topic is promissory notes. After bills of exchange, next subtopic in the bills of exchange is promissory notes. This also comes under the Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. So promissory notes is defined as a promissory note is also an instrument in writing. It's an instrument in writing, not a bank note or currency note. Not being a bank or currency note. Okay, not. containing an unconditional undertaking. It's not an order, but it's an unconditional undertaking. Unconditional undertaking. Undertaking is very important. Unconditional undertaking. Okay, unconditional undertaking. Signed by the maker. Signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money to or to the order of a certain person. So promissory note is an instrument in writing, not being the currency or banknote, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money to or to the order of certain person, to the order of certain person. Here in the promissory notes, bill is drawn by the purchaser, not by the seller. Suppose A sold goods to B. A sold goods to B on credit. So here A is not going to draw the bill on B. The seller is not going to draw the bill on B, but the seller is not going to draw, but the B is going to draw the bill on A. Promissory notes is drawn by whom? Drawn by the purchaser. Okay, and he promised to make payment to the seller. Purchaser make the promise, do the promise to make the payment of the amount of the bill on the due date. It's a promissory note. It is drawn by the purchaser here. And you know the bills of exchange is drawn by the seller to the purchaser, a bills of exchange. But here in the promissory notes is drawn by whom? Drawn by B. It is drawn by B. Who is B? B is the purchaser. Okay, B is the purchaser. B is the debtors. So here debtors draw the bill and make the promise to do the payment to the seller on time. So a promissory note is an unconditional writing containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker. Who is the maker? Purchaser is the maker. Purchaser means B is the maker. And means the debtors draw the bill, okay, draw the promissory notes and send it to the seller. So here the seller acceptance is not required. Only B has to sign on that promissory notes. Only B has to sign. Only B has to sign. So the features are, this must be in writing. Promissory notes must be in writing. Okay, not in oral. This must be in writing. Number one, promise to pay a certain sum of money which is written in the promissory notes. The amount must be definite. So promise to pay a certain sum of money, the amount must be definite, and the bills, promissory notes must be unconditional. It is unconditional undertaking. Unconditional undertaking. Unconditional undertaking. Okay, unconditional undertaking. Next is amount must be definite. Okay, amount must be definite and must be signed by the maker. Debtor has to sign on that bill name of the payee must be mentioned in the bill, means who to whom the amount will be paid must be mentioned in the bill. Suppose the amount will be paid to A, the seller, his name must be mentioned in the bill. Cannot be made payable to the bearer of the instrument. In bills of exchange we can do the payment to the bearer of the instrument, but here we will not pay the amount to the bearer of the instrument. And the stamp, the promissory note must be stamped according to the value of the bill, must be stamped as per the value of the bill. So these characteristics are clear. Now see the specimen of a promissory note. Suppose Ram Kumar sold goods on credit to Anuj Agrawal. It means Ram Kumar is the seller, Anuj Agrawal is the purchaser. Ram Kumar sold goods to Anuj Agrawal on credit. So Anuj Agrawal, purchaser, means debtors, will draw the bill on Ram Kumar. It's a promissory notes. Draw means Anuj Agrawal is going to promise to make the payment of the amount of the bill on the date which is mentioned, terms which is mentioned, to the Ram Kumar on the due date. So he will draw, this bill will be drawn by, this promissory notes will be drawn by Anuj Agrawal, purchaser. Means debtor will draw these promissory notes. So the amount of the bill is suppose 1 lakh, goods sold by Ram Kumar to Anuj Agrawal of rupees 1 lakh on credit. So amount of the bill is 1 lakh. Anuj Agrawal in promissory notes, he is going to promise to make the payment. So statement will be, suppose 3 months after date, Anuj Kumar is ready to pay the amount and Ram Kumar is agree to accept this one. So 3 months after date, I promise to pay, I means Anuj Agrawal is promised to pay Sri Ram Kumar who is the seller, or order the sum of rupee 1 lakh, here it is in word, for value received. Here the signature of Anuj Agrawal is required. Anuj Agrawal signature will be here. Anuj Agrawal signature, Anuj Agrawal has to sign it. Anuj Agrawal has to sign it. Okay? Who will sign over here? Anuj Agrawal. Who is Anuj Agrawal? Anuj Agrawal is the purchaser. So he will sign over here. Anuj Agrawal will sign. Anuj Agrawal is from Ranchi, Jharkhand. He has promised to make the payment to whom? To Ram Kumar. Ram Kumar is the seller. So you write the detail of name and address of Ram Kumar to Ram Kumar, Varanasi. You write his street number, PIN code, mobile number, everything, email ID or registration number, you write it over here. Here the signature of Ram Kumar is not required. It is not at all required. Ram Kumar is not going to sign, because here the purchaser himself promised to make the payment after 3 months to Ram Kumar or his order of rupees 1 lakh for which the value received. So it's a promissory note. So stamp according to the value has to be affixed over here. Signature of the debtors will be required. Anuj Kumar's signature will be required. Here acceptance is not required. No acceptance, because the purchaser himself write a statement and promise to make payment to the seller after 3 months or after 4 months for which the value received. So date of drawing bill, signature of the purchaser, and he is the seller's detailed name and address, and here he is writing the terms and condition. 3 months after date means after this date the 3 months will start. 3 months after date I promise to pay Sri Ram Kumar. Ram Kumar is the seller, or order the sum of rupee 1 lakh for value received. So this is a specimen format of a promissory notes. In promissory notes, acceptance is not required because it is drawn by debtors himself, and bills of exchange is drawn by creditors. That's why acceptance is required from the debtor's end. But here the debtor himself writing and promise to make the payment, so here the acceptance is not required. Now next is parties to the promissory notes. Who are the party who involved in promissory notes? In promissory notes, only two parties are involved. One is the maker, another is the payee of the bill. Maker, who is the maker in the promissory notes? Purchaser. Means debtor is the maker of the promissory notes. The person who purchased the goods on credit, that person means debtor is the maker of the bill because he is promised to make the payment. So maker means who is the drawer? Debtor is the drawer of the promissory notes. Debtor means customer is the drawer of the promissory notes. Customer is draw the bill. So maker is the customer means debtors, and the payee, the person who received the amount of the bill, that is who will be the payee? Payee will be the seller. Creditor will be the payee of the bill because creditor will get the amount, seller will get the amount of the promissory notes after a specified time period. Okay, the definite sum of money will receive by the seller after certain specified period which is mentioned in the promissory notes. So in promissory notes there will be only two party. One is the maker who draws the bill. Okay, here there is no acceptance is required. And second is the payee, the person who received the amount of the bill. So the seller is the payee of the bill. Seller means creditor is the payee of the bill. Now coming to the difference between promissory notes and bills of exchange. What's the difference between these two, promissory notes and bills of exchange? So point of distinction, on which basis we are going to differentiate between bills of exchange and promissory notes. This is the point of distinction. This is about the bills of exchange and this row is for promissory notes. So this row is for promissory notes. This row is for bills of exchange. And this is for point of distinction. Point of distinctions. So we have to see one by one the difference between promissory notes and bills of exchange. So come parties. In bills of exchange there are three parties: drawer, drawee and payee. But in promissory notes there will be only two party. One is the drawer means maker, another is the payee of the bill. So in parties, whereas the parties is concerned, in bills of exchange the three party: drawer, drawee and payee. And in promissory notes there are the two party. Okay, only two parties: drawer means maker and payee. This is the first point of difference. Is it clear? Party is concerned, three parties: drawer, drawee and payee. And in promissory notes, two party: drawer means maker and payee. Now second is drawer. Who draws the promissory bills of exchange is drawn by whom? Bills of exchange is drawn by creditors and promissory notes is drawn by debtors means customer. This is the next difference between bills of exchange and promissory notes, whereas the drawer, who draw the promissory notes, who draw the bills of exchange? Bills of exchange is drawn by creditors means seller, and promissory notes is drawn by purchaser, by customer means by debtors. Next is order and promise. Bills of exchange is an order. It's an order. It's an order to pay certain sum of money, where the promissory notes is to make the promise. So statement will vary in the body of the bills of exchange and promissory notes. So bills of exchange is an order where the promissory notes is a promise to pay. Okay, it's an undertaking. Promissory notes is an undertaking. Acceptance is the fourth point of difference. Is what? Acceptance. In bills of exchange, acceptance is mandatory. The bills of exchange is drawn by creditor, and this must be accepted by debtors. But promissory notes is drawn by debtor, so acceptance is not required. So acceptance in bills of exchange, whereas in the promissory notes no acceptance, no need of acceptance in promissory notes, because the customer himself promised to make the payment. It's an undertaking. Liability. Okay, next is liability. The liability of the drawer will be secondary. The person who draws the bills in bills of exchange, who draws the bill? Creditor draws the bill. So if the bill will be dishonored, first liability will be of the debtors. Liability will be first. If debtors fail to pay the amount, means customer fail to pay the amount, then drawer's liability will be come into account. So drawer's liability is secondary. First liability is of the customers, means the person who accept the bill. Drawee's liability will be first. Drawee is accountable to pay the amount first. So liability of the drawee means purchaser will be first. If the drawee fail to pay the amount, then the drawer will pay the amount. So drawer liability is secondary, but in case of a promissory notes, drawer's liability is primary, because drawer is the customer who has made the promise to pay this amount after certain days or after certain months. So the customer means the debtor. Here the debtor's liability, drawer's liability is primary. Next is payee. Who will be the payee of the bill? In case of bills of exchange, drawer may be the payee of the bill if the bill is in hand of the drawer on the date of maturity till the due date. If the bill is in hand of the drawer, then drawer will be the payee of the bill, because drawer will receive the amount. But in promissory notes, under no case the drawer will be the payee. No, drawer cannot be the payee of the bill, because he is the customer who has purchased the goods. So he can't be the payee of the bill. He will not receive the amount of the bill. Next is noting charges. If the bill is dishonored, it is better to get noted. It is better to get noted if the bill is dishonored. So noting is required, and here noting is not necessary because it's a undertaking. Copies. In case of internal bills, then it 1 copy. Otherwise, for the foreign trade bill, then 3 copies. And in case of promissory notes, only 1 copy is required. Now stamps. If the bill is on demand bill, if it is a demand bill, then no stamp is required. Otherwise, in other bills of exchange, stamps is required. But if it is a demand bill on demands, then no noting, no stamps is required. But in case of a promissory notes, stamps is required. So whereas the stamp is concerned, in case of a bills of exchange, there is no need of fixing stamps on bills payable on demand. But otherwise, stamps would be necessary, but in case of a promissory notes, stamps is required.